was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Now tourists don't really know our country, how this thing go. A car coming on the other side, between the seat they won't hide. Look out, they shout with discontent. They think we have an accident. Say we driving on the wrong side. By the law we don't abide. But I was a taxi driver, was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. You're driving taxi late at night to get your money, you got to fight. My people don't understand, like them I am a poor man. Took a man to chop on a knife to my throat, I was a goner. Didn't see no dog but heard a bark, was me. Yeah, when I was a taxi driver, I was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver, I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. Was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver. I was a deep sea diver. And when I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. This was a tourist the other day, paradise he want to go play. Pull up in front of the hotel door, this was the end of the tour. I said $35. The man grabbed me by the collar. Talk about scared and be funny, I feel my pants. I thought I was a taxi driver, not a deep sea diver. When I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. I say I was a taxi driver, not a deep sea diver. When I want to pass, I would mash the gas. I was a taxi driver. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving, no more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more taxi driving, no more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No more deep sea diving. After all I've been through, I can say to you, no taxi driving. No taxi driving, no deep sea diving.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Don't strike a Tonight, a man is shot and killed in a brazen daylight shooting. We've got the details coming up. This as more information on energy reform being released by government. But does it leave more questions than answers? And later, the National Security Minister addressing overcrowding at B-Docks. We've got the details coming up. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. A shopping center being forced to shut down temporarily today after deafening sounds of gunshots erupted. A targeted shooting that triggered an investigation into the country's latest murder here in the capital. Our Jose Etienne takes it from here in our top story tonight.
No, somebody just got shot.
What? Look. I hope they get the car. I hope they get the car. Some fast more shots in this now, boy. You heard all this, you heard all this shot.
Panic, chaos, and disbelief after a man in his 30s was executed in broad daylight right outside a Shirley Street shopping plaza. Businesses frozen, customers stunned, and the community once again forced to confront the brutal reality of gun violence. The victim had just finished working out. Walking out of a gym he visited regularly when gunmen struck.
I am honestly shaken by the incident because I knew the individual as a friend.
The gym's manager says he was devastated, saying one moment they were talking and the next his friend was lying in a pool of blood.
He had already finished his workout. He came on about 5:30 and he left about the time that he met his demise. We were joking around about his progress. We were joking around about him losing more weight because he wanted to lose some more weight and look more lean and more muscular.
Police swarmed the scene, locking down the plaza for hours, marking evidence and searching for any clues that could lead them to the killers responsible for this brazen attack.
He approached his vehicle when a small, dark Japanese vehicle pulled up. A male exited that vehicle, produced a firearm, and fired shots in the direction of the deceased, fatally wounding him.
Investigators say surveillance footage and cooperation from businesses will be critical as they work to rebuild the final moments before the shooting.
They are assisting us greatly in our investigation, and any information as far as CCTV cameras and all of those resources will be used to investigate this matter.
This killing is a familiar one. Nearly 3 years ago, another man was shot and killed just after leaving a gym in the Harbor Bay Plaza, which is only a short distance away from where I'm standing. And now history has repeated itself. Same killing, same routine, and the same kind of public space. This underscores how bold gunmen have become, carrying out deadly attacks in broad daylight with no regard for public safety and no concerns for the businesses or the innocent individuals who may be caught up in the middle. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Jose. Meantime, an investigation has been launched into the death of a 4-year-old male child on the island of Grand Bahama after he was reported missing by his grandmother, only to be discovered later floating in a canal. Police press liaison for the Northern Bahamas, Superintendent Johnson, providing these preliminary details on scene last night.
Shortly after 7 p.m., police control room received reports of a male child aged 4 who went missing from a residence on Bamboo Key, just off Luna Boulevard. As a result of the information, a team of officers were dispatched to investigate. On arrival in the area, they were directed to the rear of a residence where they received additional information and later saw a male child who was recovered from the water. EMS was quickly summoned, later arrived on scene and rendered medical attention to this male child. However, he's unresponsive. Based on the information that we received from family members, the male child fit the description of the child that went missing earlier. At this time, we are speaking with a number of persons who are assisting us in this investigation, and we are in the initial stage right now.
On to some other news tonight. Questions are still looming over government's agreement with Pi Corporation. This following the release of more than 3,000 pages of documents tied to multiple energy deals. The disclosure comes as Prime Minister Philip Davis insisted that all the records were already made public. It prompted the Energy and Transport Minister Jobeth Kobe Davis to later clarify those claims as calls for transparency grew louder. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
For months, the government's energy reform deal and the role of Pike Corporation have been at the center of national debate. The issue reached a new flashpoint this week when Prime Minister Philip Davis told reporters that the agreement had already been tabled in Parliament. But Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis later said the documents had not been tabled, adding to the confusion. Now, the government has publicly released a 3,260-page document today on the deal. At the center of the disclosure came confirmation that Bahamas Power and Light has transferred ownership of major transmission and distribution assets to a new entity, Bahamas Grid Company Limited. The documents state that BPL has assigned, quote, all its right, title, and interest in key grid infrastructure to the company. This includes power lines, substations, equipment, and other assets responsible for delivering electricity to homes and businesses. While the government has identified Pike Corporation as a key partner in energy reform, question remains about its exact role and relationship to Bahamas Grid. Critical questions now being asked include who owns Bahamas Grid Company Limited, what role does Pike play in operating or controlling the grid, and how much control over the country's electricity delivery system has been transferred away from BPL. Attempts to gain answers not provided in the documents. The transfer also raises serious questions about workers. With ownership of grid infrastructure now under a different company, concerns remain about job security, pensions, and who now employs the workers responsible for maintaining the system. It's a concern that the union president, Kyle Wilson, had previously raised. This as the transmission and distribution network is the backbone of electricity delivery in the Bahamas. The release of these documents provides new answers, but also raises new questions, particularly about Pike's corporation role and who ultimately controls the country's power grid. The government has maintained the reforms are necessary to improve reliability and modernize the power system. But with ownership of key infrastructure now confirmed as transferred, there are growing calls for full transparency and clearer answers about who controls the country's energy future. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
In other news tonight, the Free National Movement not backing down as they continue to rake the Parliamentary Registration Department over coals. The FNM's Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright, accompanied by a number of party candidates on Thursday morning, he pointed to what he says are a number of growing concerns as the department ramps up its voter registration exercise.
Missing registrations and transfers. We also have proof of voters who registered or transferred, as I indicated, as far back as November of 2025, yet their names do not appear on the electronic register issued on January 29, 2026. That is more than a month, and Bahamians deserve answers. How long is the registration supposed to take? What controls exist to make sure registrations are entered correctly? Who is accountable when names simply disappear? Issue 3, duplicate voters. We are also still seeing voters listed in multiple constituencies at the same time. That should never happen. One voter, one constituency. Anything else opens the door to abuse, and that door should already be shut. Issue 4, deceased voters still on the register. Bahamians of Haitian descent holding Bahamian passports are being facilitated through the process despite being unable to speak or understand English. Yet, other Bahamian citizens are delayed or denied because of supposed language issues.
Prime Minister Philip Davis has since dismissed the opposition's concern, accusing the Free National Movement of grandstanding while saying that their concerns are nothing but, quote, hot air. But Cartwright insists tonight that the nation's leader isn't being helpful in addressing what he calls legitimate concerns.
The lack of consistency is a significant problem. Now, the Prime Minister says that the system is manual and mistakes happen. Yes, human error can occur, but when patterns appear, when inconsistencies repeat, when concerns span multiple constituencies, that requires more than a shrug. It requires action. And let me address this claim that we are preparing for excuses for a defeat. The Bahamian people are not blind. They know what they are experiencing in their daily lives. They know the cost of living has risen. They know trust in institutions has weakened. Yes. If anything, this government knows the country is ready for a different direction. Yes. And perhaps that is what truly makes them uncomfortable.
Meantime, low voter turnout has remained a persistent challenge in general elections, as prompting calls for greater national effort to encourage eligible Bahamians to register and participate in the democratic process. Well, answering that call, we here at Eyewitness News partnered with the Parliamentary Registration Department to host a voter registration drive yesterday here at the ILTV studios. It provided persons with the opportunity to register for the first time, transfer their registration, or replace lost or damaged voters' cards. Now, officials say the initiative was a part of a broader effort to ensure that the registration was more accessible and ensure that every eligible Bahamian has the opportunity to exercise their vote. However, that exercise has since drawn criticism from a political candidate.
ILTV Studios hosted a registration with the Parliamentary Registry Department. That is a major and grave concern for me and the campaign, simply because we have a ratified candidate for the PLP who is alleged to be the major shareholder in ILTV Studios. We are inviting members of the general public to come to a partisan location for registration. That has been done, in my view, and in the view of my campaign, in the darkness. We believe that the exercise of registering the vote should be at civic locations that are non-partisan, that would put all candidates at a balanced, level field.
Chief Executive Officer of Verizon Media Group, Gershon Major, categorically rejecting claims that recent voter registration drive held here at ILTV Studios was connected to, influenced by, or conducted on behalf of any political campaign or candidate. In a statement issued following that criticism, Major emphasized that the initiative was an independent, non-partisan effort conducted with the full authorization and in strict adherence to the guidelines and procedures established by the Parliamentary Registration Department. He also noted that the registration exercise was carried live on our radio station, 103.5 The Beat Radio, ensuring full transparency and public access throughout the process, adding that the initiative formed part of a broader national effort to encourage voter registration and support civic participation. Well, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper is forcefully rejecting claims circulating online that attempt to link him to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a statement issued today, Cooper described the allegations as completely false, saying that they are based on what is called fabricated documents filed with basic errors, including dates that do not align on the calendar. Cooper maintained that he's never met Epstein, never communicated with him, and never received any campaign contributions from him or anyone acting on his behalf. As the country heads into election season, Cooper also warned about the danger of AI-generated and manipulated content, urging the public to verify information before it's shared. He added that his public record remains transparent and described the claims as, quote, a deliberate attempt to smear his name. On to some other news tonight. An alarming security scare bringing much of Grand Bahama to a standstill today after officials say they were made aware of a possible explosion set to occur. It forced the evacuation of the Grand Bahama Power Company, the incident also prompting a full-scale emergency response. Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
A reported bomb threat at the Grand Bahama Power Company saw police, SWAT, fire services, and bomb assessment teams comb the premises after staffers were ordered to evacuate, which led to an island-wide power shutdown for Grand Bahama Power Company customers on Thursday. Chief Operating Officer of GBPC, Nikita Mullings, describing what led to the power outage as a, quote, imminent threat, noting all relevant stakeholders sprung into action, ensuring the safety of employees, customers, and the surrounding areas. But as for the details on how the alleged threat was discovered,
so in keeping with our security and safety procedures, we're not able to disclose those details. In addition, this is an active investigation, and so we're not able to comment at this time.
Photos circulating showed fire engines blocking the road, the entrance to the power plant nearly a ghost town, as GBPC officials say all employees were relocated to a, quote, safe space, while investigators sought to get to the bottom of the alleged threat. After nearly 4 hours without power, officials say restoration began with essential services as priority and others followed.
We first would have started with the hospital, the airports, our water well fields as a priority, and then our team worked quickly and safely to bring everyone back online. This would be our residential customers.
Mullings commending authorities for their work and prioritizing the safety for all reportedly at risk.
The response time was swift as we work closely with these partners in these types of situations.
GBPC says their teams will continue to be guided by the safety measures and protocols in place when such events occur, and operations have resumed as normal. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meantime, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce weighing in on the government's plan to redevelop the former International Bazaar. The chamber says revitalizing the property is in the best long-term interest of Grand Bahama, especially if it forms part of a strategy to position the island as a gateway for African and global trade. However, officials say they do not support the use of compulsory acquisition except for essential public services, warning that it could discourage private investment. They add that if a qualified private investor has been identified, government should facilitate that process rather than lead the development, noting that the past state-led projects have led in mixed results. On to some other news. Severe overcrowding plaguing the Bahamas Department of Corrections and forcing government to make a decision to support its survival. The Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, revealing that at its peak, the prison system is housing over 1,900 inmates, well beyond its intended capacity. Monroe emphasizing that the department is taking immediate action to ensure facilities operate safely and effectively. Part of that effort includes the government using the prerogative of mercy, to release certain inmates early. The prerogative of mercy is a constitutional power that allows the reduction, suspension, or cancellation of a criminal sentence in the Bahamas. It is exercised by the Governor General, usually on the advice of government, and is an act of executive mercy and not a court decision.
The population, which is an ideal, would be in the range of 1,200, 1,300. And in order to address the overcrowding, you identify non-violent offenders, offenders who are not charged with sexual offenses, offenders who are not charged with anything that you would consider serious public risk, and we, in this case, identified persons particularly who were set for release soon, and identified persons who we could deport out of the country back to their home country, and they were part of the persons released early. Because if the prison continues to be overcrowded, at some point somebody is going to bring an action that will cause for less than an orderly reduction in the prison population.
Meanwhile, the minister gave the latest update on where the government stands with the parole bill.
The general was that there was a sentencing guideline format being finalized, and it was their desire to advance the two together. So when you talk about sentencing guidelines, you also have the same conditional release of offenders, because the bill currently says, for instance, for some non-violent offenses, you might consider sentences in the community, like house arrest. Like if you do something instead of going to prison and losing your job, you might only be permitted to go to your job and go home. And of course, go to church, because we never want to stop people worshiping. But the greater use of sentencing in the community is something that's being considered, because short-term sentences would destroy a life.
Meantime, a 31-year-old man accused of killing the mother of his unborn child now asking the court for bail. Reuben Cartwright, the married father of two, is charged with murder of Lauren Saunders, his co-workers at Albany, and an alleged romantic partner. Saunders' decomposing body was discovered in bushes off of Munnings Road back on October 22nd of last year, 3 days after she was reported missing by family. During bail submissions, defense attorney Tamika Roberts argued that the prosecution's case is weak, noting that a pathologist was unable to determine the exact cause of Saunders' death. However, prosecutor Karen McEwen pushed back, telling the court that Cartwright admitted to police that Saunders died during consensual strangulation while the two were reportedly engaged in sexual activity. Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson has reserved her ruling on that bail application. While the government moving to compulsory acquire the Freeport International Bazaar under the Acquisition of Land Act, despite 99% of the property's 13 owners reportedly agreeing to a $1.5 million sale price. The land is earmarked for the proposed African Caribbean Marketplace, a project intended to boost trade, tourism, and cultural exchange in Grand Bahama. This decision comes as the government seeks to move forward with financing arrangements, including a loan guaranteed tied to marketplace development. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question tonight: do you support the government's decision to acquire the International Bazaar property? 63% of participants voting yes, it's needed for economic development. 25% voted no, all owners should agree before acquisition, while some 12% voted that they were unsure and more information was needed. We'll be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls as your voice matters. Well, as the political season heats up, there's an angle that many may not immediately consider: the spiritual well-being of those chosen to lead what is widely regarded as a Christian nation. The issue was raised by a prominent figure within the Pentecostal denomination. It's sparking a conversation between both parties. Our Janelle Longley has the details tonight.
I'm afraid that there is a politician that's rising up, that we're starting to see show its head, that does not have that respect and reverence for the God of the Bible and for the representatives of God in the earth.
Could the weight of spiritual voices diminish in the lives of those chosen to run the country? According to General Superintendent of the Highway Church of God, Bishop Denzel Roll, not immediately, but surely. And he's not the only one.
Unfortunately, on many levels, there is no reverence. There is no regard.
House of Assembly Chaplain Bishop Valentino Williams of Life Changers Ministries says for far too long, some men and women of the cloth have found themselves compromised.
Of course, I'm not saying that as a pastor you should not have a political preference. I have no issue with that at all. But when your political preference become an idol, meaning you begin to put that before your God, meaning you begin to put that before your congregation, then we're going to have a challenge.
And in turn, Bishop Roll says the government ends up, quote, politicking the church.
We're using the church to dangle the church to say, okay, we spoke to the church and this is what we can do. That's a slippery road that I see us heading down, and we must be careful as a nation.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard agrees with the church's importance, but he says within appropriate boundaries.
The church ought to influence, in my view, public policy, the kind of culture that we create in our country, but at the same time, we recognize we live in a secular society, and people who may not be, again, religious, they have a right to, again, define the space that they live in, but within reason.
Also acknowledging growing concerns about church leaders whose actions may undermine their influence and credibility.
We have the same contradictions in politics, in business, in civics, in culture. As much as we are critical of the church, we can only begin to imagine how much worse off the society would be had we not had men and women of God who are consistently living well.
Still, Bishop Roll recalled a time when aspiring political leaders actively sought spiritual guidance before entering public life, pointing to former Prime Minister Perry Christie.
So Lyndon said to him, go in the grove, go find Bishop Katie Josie. That's one of our general superintendents of the past. Find Bishop Katie Josie and let him lay hands on you, and then come back to see me.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, the family of one young Grand Bahama beauty queen, they're making a plea for blood donations tonight. We've got that story coming up, and later a very special event focused on empowering entrepreneurs. It's on the calendar. We've got the details right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Forget them flower, forget them check. You know it's Tommy, get the respect. AP is hot, we sitting close. Grease on your lip, that's how I know. You is my person, that ain't no secret. You share wing, I might keep it. Love buckets.
8 tasty pieces of chicken, thighs and legs for just $20. Add a large side for $5. This February, love deserves a bucket. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are you self-employed or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit your C10 statements and pay NIB contributions? Sign up for the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today. It's quick, secure, and takes just 5 simple steps. You will need a completed R1 business registration form and 2 forms of ID, a passport, voter's card, NIB card, or driver's license. Choose your role and enter your info, NI number, employer's NI number, name, and date of birth. Hit next. Enter your email, check your inbox for the code, then type it in to verify. Upload the R1 form and your 2 forms of ID and tap submit. Track your application anytime by tapping check status. Once approved, you'll get your confirmation and PIN by email within 24 to 72 hours. Return to the app, tap register now, set your login details and enter your final code. That's it. You're now ready to manage your NIB contributions anytime, anywhere. Self-employed persons, small business owners. Skip the line, save time. Download the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life, because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing these grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful, and I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting $5.11 at Esso, $5.15 at your local Rubis, and $5.31 at Shell, your local prices at the pump. Well, telecommunications company Alive now promoting the importance of cybersecurity with its Alive Business Conference that kicked off today at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort under the theme Cyber Resilience, Defending the Digital Frontier. Chief Executive Officer of Cable Bahamas Limited, Franklin Butler, emphasizing the importance of staying one step ahead as cyber threats continue to evolve in a rapidly developing digital era. He says organizations must remain vigilant and proactive to safeguard their critical digital assets.
Think about digitalization, our role as the leader enabling connected lifestyles and experiences at Cable Bahamas and Alive. We recognize that it's not just about connectivity. We really want people to have a safe experience. When we think about what we enable in terms of your ability to use digital banking, your ability to shop online, your ability to do all the things, whether that's gaming, etc. online, what we find more and more is people talking about these bad experiences they've had where sometimes they have been robbed, manipulated, whether that's a profile on social media. And so we find it really important to make sure that we can not just lament with you, but to guide you how to protect yourself against these things happening to you, and for you to make sure that you have the tools. And so we focus obviously on businesses here, but they're also everyday citizens, where we want to make sure that every business is doing its part, and we help you to think about how you make sure you have a safe digital infrastructure.
National Security Minister Wayne Monroe also present for the opening of the conference. He noted that cybersecurity is just one of several crimes that have been escalated here in the Bahamas and exacerbated by international linkages. He emphasized that events like this are important to strengthening the nation's cybersecurity and also protecting the public.
And the statement acknowledged that and commits us to address it. The intent of the Bahamas government, if this administration is returned, and the intent of this minister, if he is returned, that's just some campaigning, is that the Bahamas Cyber Incident Response Team will be moved to the Ministry of National Security, and the director of the CERT will be involved in a grouping that I have reinvigorated called Only the Heads of All National Law Enforcement Agencies, because that is the level that we've elevated this area.
Child beauty queen and active student Miracle Martin is in need of blood donations tonight. Her family is making a plea for anyone who can donate to do so as soon as possible. According to Miracle Martin's father, Alan Martin, she was diagnosed with leukemia in July of last year and has been fighting the disease like a champ. But this week, her father says there were some challenges and a low blood count that led to the clarion call for blood.
This week, when she did her blood work and stuff, they saw that her blood cells count was low, and so she also got a fever which affected that, so she couldn't take the medication and she couldn't take the therapy, and so as we speak, she has just gotten admitted into hospital. And they're going to need to do a blood transfusion. And so we are reaching out for donors who can come and donate to this cause.
Meantime, the Rotaract Club of East Nassau is set to host its 14th annual entrepreneurship panel on March 6 at Access Co-working Suites, held under the theme Dream, Dare, Do. The event expects to bring together aspiring and established entrepreneurs for an evening of insight and inspiration, and Rotaract Club members Brentley Young sharing what attendees can expect.
Aspiring entrepreneurs can expect to hear success stories and challenges from more experienced entrepreneurs, persons who have done this before, and persons who are very concerned about mentorship and who want to pass the mantle on to the next generation of entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur, everybody who has that idea, who wants to launch, or even if they already have their business and they just want to hear stories from these professionals, they are invited.
Young says that as the event enters its 14th year, organizations are taking a more in-depth approach, offering greater insight into the world of entrepreneurship than in years past, adding that the club also plans to use the panel as a platform to further impact the community.
We always try to get more experienced entrepreneurs. So each step that we go, you would see we would have a field of more diverse speakers. And persons who are more established in their roles. So we have persons from the startup community. In the past, we've had persons who were startup entrepreneurs. Now we have more senior entrepreneurs, persons who have been in the field for over 20 plus years, who can share all of that and who have seen all of the challenges through decades of experience. So this year, we will be charging for the event. The event will cost $20, and in keeping with the Rotaract theme, we are a community-based organization. So this event, all of the proceeds will be going to our community service initiatives.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, a blood drive being held within a special community. We've got the details, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
We have made significant progress on the installation of the temporary causeway at the Tino Beach Bridge. The causeway, when completed, will allow all vehicle types to access Tino Island with no weight restrictions.
So since the passing of Hurricane Dorian, the Lucayan Service Company has been challenged over the past 6 years. We have had major failures within the interior parts of the island on Grand Bahama Highway that lead across to the eastern part of the island, which is the Casuarina Bridge and the Sajak Hayward Bridge.
In August 2023, after an inspection of the Tino Beach Bridge, there were some concerns.
And for 2 years, we've been working very closely with engineers here on island and those that are from out of Nassau as well to ensure that we had the best results going forward.
We've been exploring various options to replace the bridge to ensure that we make the best decision on the way forward for long-term sustainability. The causeway will be built by simply dumping fill into the canal. This fill will be compacted to engineering standards. After it's compacted, an asphalt top will be added. After the asphalt top is added, there will be jersey barriers and other traffic management tools to make sure pedestrians and road users are safe.
Currently, this is an emergency repair that we're doing right now.
It will allow residents on the southern side of the bridge to return to a sense of normalcy. Bukayo Service Company and Tamarind Development Company, we take the environment serious.
We want to let everybody know that an environmental study was completed.
And we are following the environmental monitoring plan that was provided.
We continue to work along with stakeholders and also with outside and exterior entities
to make sure we adhere to the plan and we are accountable.
And any concerns that they bring to the table, they are foremost addressed in an urgent and controlled manner.
Follow the savings and head to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for super specials like Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. American Spice lemon or lime juice, 32 ounces, $1.69. Robin Hood flour, 5.5 pounds, $5.29. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $2.99. Baby back spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. From store to store, no one saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Matching pajamas, Junkanoo, decorating contest, or caroling with the crew. However you Christmas, do it your way. With a Christmas loan from Bank of the Bahamas, you get the funds you need to celebrate the way you want. Plus, a chance to win one of 3 shopping sprees. Apply today at www.bankbahamas.com or email us at loans@bankbahamas.com. Christmas your way with FEB, your bank of solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, the families of all murder victims, Bahamas or FOAM, they're joining forces with community partners to host a blood drive next week in the Nassau Village community on February 28th at the Nassau Village Community Center. FOAM will be partnering with BTC, NHI, JRM Construction, Strap App, and the new Life Natural Health to encourage residents to donate blood and be entered for a chance to win prizes from those organizations. Taking the effort a step further, founder of FOAM, Candy Gibson, says that each blood donor will receive a $50 grocery voucher.
Asking for blood. Sometimes look later on Facebook, the person passed away. I personally feel like if you're already in hospital sick, that shouldn't be your worries trying to find out who can I send a flyer out to or who I can get to make up a flyer asking them to donate blood. So with that being said, FOAM came up with an initiative. First, our first initiative was actually donate blood on your birthday. As you celebrate your birthday, give somebody else a chance to celebrate birthday. Okay, well, that didn't kick off. I said, no, some candy, do it in one spot where everybody get a chance to come to this one spot. And so with that being said, we partnership with various persons.
Well, also joining the community effort is Gerard Darville, who says the goal is to help establish a culture of consistent blood donations across the country. He emphasized the importance of residents making blood donations a regular habit, noting that it plays a critical role in saving lives and supporting the nation's healthcare system.
You can't donate blood. If you just had tattoos, that you can't donate blood. If you're just being out to Barris Hammond and you've been, having one or two drinks, that you can't donate blood. But you need the consistency there, that every day that we would have persons championing, fighting for persons, fighting for lives, and this is what matters the most, right? Once we put ourselves in a position that we are selfless in our giving, you will be surprised at who the life is that you may save.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, and tonight we're reflecting on the legacy of a woman who has made a major impact on the sporting community over in the Second City. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
It's a Holy Frosty Christmas, and Wendy's and Coke is bringing the chill. This year, when you upgrade any Wendy's combo to a large, you can instantly win big with the Upgrade and Win Christmas giveaway. We're talking travel gift cards, gadgets, holiday treats, and prizes that make your Holy Frosty Christmas shine. Just upgrade your favorite lunch combo, scan the QR code on your receipt to enter, and let the holiday magic begin. Enjoy great tasting food and win big this Christmas with Wendy's and Coca-Cola's Upgrade and Win. Rules and restrictions apply.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that? Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to sign in line again. Amen to that. Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
Every great idea starts with courage. Every successful business starts with belief.
And every woman deserves the opportunity to turn her vision into reality. The Fox Foundation Women Entrepreneurship Initiative is back, bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever. This year, Give to Gain honors women who gave their very best, their time, their talent, their sacrifice, and their vision to succeed in innovation-driven and emerging industries.
This initiative is about investing in women who are ready to lead, build, and grow. It's about creating a real pathway to success in a new era of business.
This year's program features 2 dynamic panel discussions designed to inspire action at every level. This year also features a distinguished international speaker, bringing global insight, helping to empower women to think bigger and lead boldly.
We're proud to grant over $75,000 in funding to emerging businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs ready to take the next step. If you have an idea, a business, or a dream worth building, now is the time.
Grant applications are open until February 28th. This is more than just an event. It is a powerful networking experience.
Surround yourself with women who means business.
Join us as we give to gain.
Give your best, build what's next, and gain what matters.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training advises the public that the registration process of the 2026-2027 school year for public school students has commenced. Parents are urged to register their children before the deadline of the 31st of March, 2026. Here's what you'll need: your child's proof of identity, immunization card, their most recent transcript or report card, parents or guardians' proof of identity. Register before the deadline to ensure a seamless transition into the new school year. Don't delay. Register today.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight, the Grand Bahamas sports community is in mourning following the passing of a beloved coach, Bonnie Baston. Athletes, fellow coaches, and fans across the islands are honoring the life and legacy of a woman whose influence extend far beyond the court, shaping not just players, but men. Eyewitness Sports spoke with a young man who says her guidance, discipline, and unwavering belief helped define his life. That's Sunland Baptist Academy Stingers head coach, Jay Philippe, who fought back tears as he remembered the woman he called not just a coach, but a mentor, friend, and a mother figure.
Biological mother. Sometimes I would crack jokes saying that Bonnie is my mother. She's been a part of my life since I became a teenager. She was the first person that took me to open up a bank account. She was the first person that took me to get my driver's license. She was the first person that really believed in me as far as being an athlete, a student athlete. She was responsible for me going to college. She's responsible for me being a coach now because she was the one that mentored me.
Her impact spans generations, from her work with the House of Hoops, along with the role she played with the Stingers Senior Boys basketball program, where she remained committed deeply to developing young men, both on and off the court. Player David Adley says Coach Bonnie has been a constant presence in his life since the 9th grade.
And it's from grade 9, that's when I really started to get close with her. That's when I first came on the team, and she allowed me to come by the house after school, before practice, and even after games, just to, chill with the boys that was there, and just be a good guardian to me. Like, even when we went overseas on trips and AAU trips and stuff like that, like, she just was an amazing guardian.
The Stingers basketball program, built on her foundation of discipline, hard work, and pride, continues to carry her legacy forward. The team is currently in Nassau for the Hugh Campbell Basketball Classic. And despite her loss, they're expected to take the court tonight, playing with a heavy heart, but with the same fight and character she instilled in them. How do you think that? I know the hearts will be heavy for the team.
I don't know how we're going to make it tonight, to be honest with you. Consider not playing, to be honest, because our hearts are heavy. But if I know Miss Baston, she would say go finish the job.
Just go win it all. So, like, that's the mindset we'll be coming in now. Like, that same message she gave us, just to go win it all and just to play hard. So I know that even though, like, our hearts are heavy right now, like, I know that she would want us to go finish the job. So that's what we're going to try and channel all our emotions into these next games coming up.
Coach Bonnie passed away at the age of 65. Well, that's a look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
This is the inaugural edition of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing, bringing you updates directly from the Ministry of Energy and Transport. Welcome to The Movement, live from the National Energy Summit. We begin with Energy in Motion, an inside look at the National Energy Summit 2025, where leaders, students, and stakeholders all gathered to accelerate the Bahamas' energy transition. Guided by the theme, Shaping a Sustainable Energy Future Through People, Power, and Partnerships, this summit stands as the signature annual event for the Ministry of Energy and Transport.
As the Minister of Energy and Transport, my vision of a sustainable energy future is driven by 3 conditions: reliability and security, affordability, and low carbon.
Across 2 impactful days, innovation, discussion, and collaboration filled every room.
Let's use the summit to deepen our understanding of where we stand. These are the first steps in a process that will benefit Bahamians for generations.
The Minister of Energy and Transport recorded key milestones: 488 steel poles replaced, over 9,000 feet of underground cable installed, power outages reduced by 86% on New Providence, and across the Bahamas, more than 18 new power stations are being developed, introducing solar, LNG, and energy storage systems.
Whether you live in Bimini or Nagua, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is dedicated to ensuring reliable, affordable, sustainable, and low-carbon electricity for everyone.
I'm Larissa Lundy, and this is The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Stay with us.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
With the arrival of Porter Airlines' inaugural flight from Montreal, Canada to Nassau, arriving passengers took the opportunity to share their experience.
It's perfect, like everything was good.
Short, good fly, good captain,
Good service.
good stew. Everything was perfect. Very good price. Amazing price for Nassau.
And we never go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's our first trip, so
The first time. Yeah.
that's why. But very good experience with Porter. Is not will be the last, the only one. Before we're supposed to take a trip to Miami, and after Miami to Freeport, and Freeport to Nassau. Maybe a long trip. With Porter, it's very easier. Very easier.
Yeah, 3 hours and a half.
Short and sweet.
3 hours and a half, you have like labor, you have snow, you have sun.
A friend suggested to me online, so I just said, let me give it a try. That was the first time to travel from Montreal. I said, no problem, let me do it.
Well, I heard it was new, and I don't like other. I will not drop name, but there are other airlines that come here. I don't like them, so I said give it a go with Porter to see, and it was a great experience, to be honest. Great service on the flight. Attendants are really nice. They make sure everything was all right for us. So all around, it was a great experience. It's my daughter, my mother, and me. We just decided to enjoy a little 10 days together here for the first time in the Bahamas. Rent a little cottage right on the beach, and we will cook there, and we will do our little things. Really enjoy time together, precious times together, all alone.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Thursday, but coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at today's top stories. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Bronson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods. Handpicked for quality,
freshness and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space? The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up this evening, FNM Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright leading a protest outside the Parliamentary Registrar Department today. It was to draw attention to what he says are questionable policies surrounding the department and registration and expired documents. We get into it this evening. Also tonight, Travis Robinson, the FNM candidate for Fort Charlotte, he himself is questioning the recent voter registration drive held right here at Eyewitness News. That was on Monday. Robinson is threatening to take action. We'll tell you more on why he's having those strong words. And tonight, the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas here to talk about women in insurance. We hear from the Commission. That too is coming up. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. It's good to have you all tune in, and so we're going to jump right in. FNM Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright is questioning the ability of would-be voters, mainly first-time voters, to actually register ahead of the general election. Jose Etienne has the story, and then we'll come back and take a look.
Missing registrations and transfers. We also have proof of voters who registered or transferred, as I indicated, as far back as November of 2025. Yet their names do not appear on the electronic register issued on January 29, 2026. That is more than a month, and Bahamians deserve answers. How long is the registration supposed to take? What controls exist to make sure registrations are entered correctly? Who is accountable when names simply disappear? Issue 3, duplicate voters. We are also still seeing voters listed in multiple constituencies at the same time. That should never happen. One voter, one constituency. Anything else opens the door to abuse, and that door should already be shut. Issue 4, deceased voters still on the register. Bahamians of Haitian descent holding Bahamian passports are being facilitated through the process despite being unable to speak or understand English. Yet, other Bahamian citizens are delayed or denied because of supposed language issues. The lack of consistency is a significant problem. Now, the Prime Minister says that the system is manual and mistakes happen. Yes, human error can occur, but when patterns appear, when inconsistencies repeat, when concerns span multiple constituencies, that requires more than a shrug. It requires action. And let me address this claim that we are preparing for excuses for a defeat. The Bahamian people are not blind. They know what they are experiencing in their daily lives. They know the cost of living has risen. They know trust in institutions has weakened. If anything, this government knows the country is ready for a different direction. And perhaps that is what truly makes them uncomfortable.
Well, there you heard in that report FNM Deputy Shannon Dawn Cartwright outside the Parliamentary Registration Department this morning, talking about a number of things, among them first-time voters who are attempting to register, and I imagine it includes more than first-time voters, but persons attempting to register who either have an expired passport or that document will expire very soon, perhaps having an issue with registering or being told that there will be an issue with registering. We're going to jump in right there this evening. By the way, I'll tell you this before before this broadcast, I reached out to the Parliamentary Registration Department, was able to get an understanding of exactly what it is. Is this a new policy? What's going on? What is the concern that the FNM Deputy Leader is expressing? And so we'll get into a lot of that as well. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. My contributors this evening, Gabrielle McKinsey-Ineas and Ellington Ferguson. Good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Shanique. Certainly, thank you for having me once again.
Yes, yeah. Listen, good to see you both. Listen, a lot happening today, right? Protests just all over, really. Let's jump into what the FNM deputy is saying. And what he is saying really is the fact that, listen, pay very close attention because it's not constitutional for persons to want to be able to register, to participate and exercise their democratic right, which is vote, in a few months, and being told that maybe there'll be an issue with them registering, there's going to be an issue with them even having that ability to vote because their documentation either would have expired or some issue with that document, namely the passport. Your thoughts about all of this?
Well, Shanique, it is incumbent on all of the authorities concerned, the Parliamentary Registration Department, to ensure that number one, their people, these stations are well trained and know exactly what it is that the citizens are going to need to either register to vote or to transfer their place of residence. And I think we need to make sure that everything is on par, that people are not inconvenienced, especially as it relates, and this I made for everybody, but especially the elderly that is making their way out to these centers and then have to be turned around to go and get this other document where in a lot of cases it was not even necessary for them to do it. And so, yes, we want to make sure that they have the correct documents and that our voting process can remain transparent and that it be a process that we can trust in.
Good evening once again, Shanique and Bahamas. It's always a pleasure to be here with you all. You know, voting is something we do not take lightly as Bahamians. You know, there are generations that fought hard to the tooth and nail for us to have this right. So it is a right that we must covet with all of our hearts, minds, might, everything that we must protect. One man, one vote. Absolutely. We've seen recently in the news where there was someone who obtained even a passport, a voter's card and an NIB card fraudulently. I think we need to move completely away from depending upon a passport for persons to be eligible to vote. A passport is a travel document. There are many Bahamians who have never obtained a passport, never traveled outside of this country, but they still have the right to vote. This is where the issue is coming in. So if somebody is saying, I think there's a miscommunication at these centers. Now, the parliamentary head office will not be able to confirm all of these things because I too myself had to ask them a few questions when I experienced something taking a first-time voter to one of these centers. The information is not consistent across with their staff. As I understand, they're bringing on many persons from other government agencies. Maybe it is that they don't understand the regulations. They're having these meetings I can tell you for certain that one told me that there's a particular law that was passed recently. This is how they presented it to me, in why the first time registrant that I was bringing to register had to sign up for the biometrics card. But one could not quote me when this was passed in Parliament, to what law or what instruction as the public servant they were acting on. You can't tell somebody, I believe it is this or I believe it is that. As a public servant, you follow the orders in which are created by law. So you must be able to present that law to the public so that there's no issues moving forward. So I can see where all the entitlement is coming up. There needs to be clear instructions. This is what you need to vote. This is who is eligible to vote. And when policy changes are made, it needs to be made clear to the public.
I'll tell you, I spoke with an officer, in fact, an executive of the Parliamentary Registrar Department just before we went on air, and the individual told me, and I sought an interview but was not able to get that interview because it was a last-minute request, but they said that no, people can vote, but then there's some law if your passport, for example, is cancelled, and then that's something different. It kind of is sort of just a bit unclear. However, though, can register to vote. However, they also said that they are in constant communication with every political party and its representative because they have a group chat. That's it, a group chat. So it's regular pouring out of information to these group chats, or to this group chat, to the attorneys and the appointed persons, that they understand what is what moving forward. Now, of course, some voting centers would have maybe something different to say, and they kind of make it up as they go. We know how things are, but it's something, it's quite, just listen, what this show is intended to do is certainly continue to keep you informed, and to get the response that you need right up to the minute, so that we all are on the same page moving forward into the general election. But what I was assured of is persons can register to vote with an expired document, or with a document that will expire. They can. Now, if that document is cancelled, then that's a different matter, because there are various reasons as to why a document would be cancelled. And so that basically sort of is the bottom line. I will continue to obviously press and get more information and follow up with this for you, and even seek an interview, quite frankly, so that we all clear on that moving forward. Meanwhile, Gabrielle and Ellington, also today, Travis Robinson, the Free National Movement's candidate for Fort Charlotte, took issue today with a recent voter registration drive held right here at Eyewitness News. He also had a lot to say about other things happening here on this compound. Let's take a listen and then come back and talk about it.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to address something that I believe amounts to political skullduggery in this political season.
You sent me the video.
Just yesterday, we have seen through my campaign and the wider public that ILTV Studios hosted a registration with the Parliamentary Registry Department. That is a major and grave concern for me and the campaign, simply because we have a ratified candidate for the PLP who is alleged to be the major shareholder in ILTV Studios, whose campaign basically operates from the same location. We have seen where many political paraphernalia has been stored there. Many of the political vehicles are stationary at the front and back door of the same location. And we are inviting members of the general public to come to a partisan location for registration. That has been done, in my view, and in the view of my campaign, in the darkness. We believe that the exercise of registering to vote should be at civic locations that are non-partisan, that would put all candidates at a balanced, level field. We cannot continue to operate in this type of political skullduggery where one candidate or the other is favored by institutions that are called upon to protect the democracy of our country. This is a fair warning and a notice to this government and the Parliamentary Registry Department that we are watching, and we are watching every action that you are taking. That cannot continue. And so I'm asking the parliamentary department to cease and desist from engaging in partisan political operations where individuals, as I mentioned, my political opponent in the Progressive Liberal Party is housing in the belly of his political operation registration of citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is a notion that I find to be repugnant, and we will not accept it. And if it continues, we will have terror on the location. It should cease and desist, effective immediately.
Wow, I mean, listen, should I try and reach out to the police to try when Travis decides he's going to come? Let me not joke about this. This election is serious business in the Bahamas. So let me be serious about this. Before I bring in the Hot Topics panel, I want to say about that voter registration drive that took place on Monday of this week and how that came about. Sebastian knew nothing about it. We had a training here about a couple of weeks ago, perhaps even 3 weeks now. We had a training here on a Saturday with the Parliamentary Registrar Department. Based on the back and forth, it lasted well over 2 hours with the newsroom and production as we prepare ourselves to bring you the most honest accounts, most balanced stories, assessments, analysis here at Eyewitness News this election season. We decided we wanted training, we wanted insight, we wanted to be able to get the information right so we inform you responsibly. We invited them here for a training, the newsroom did, and all of us sat there and back and forth, questions going back and forth. And it was discovered that many people, as they made aware to the representatives of the Parliamentary Registrar Department, that listen, they would have moved since the last election. How did they go about transferring? The rest of us haven't registered. Like, it's just so much was happening. They said, by the way, do you all know, like many other businesses, media houses included, you can request that we come and hold a voter registration drive for you. We will come, set it up very nicely, and all the staff can come and register. It happens everywhere. It's for everyone to do. We were happy to know that and took them up on that, made the request, and of course it happened on Monday. I am not sure if Travis Robinson, a now seasoned politician, is aware of that. This is what takes place. There are voter registration drives at the mall. Now this is, of course, they're doing. They have it at the mall, at various post offices. But what I'm saying, your church can have a voter registration drive. Your school can have a voter registration drive. Offshore banks, businesses, wherever they, various other media houses, and I think ZNS has had one, a voter registration drive. I am not sure what it is that upsets and disturbs Travis Robinson. Sebas could have requested that, but he had nothing to do with it. I'm not even sure if he knew we were having that training session because he has no daily insight, oversight, or hand in the operations of what takes place in this building as it relates to news and talk and evening news shows. Gabrielle and Ellington, I don't even want to trivialize it because it's a serious issue for him. That's why he addressed it. But I just want us to not get overexcited that we begin to say things that can be perceived a different way when truly this is something that is quite innocent and is being done everywhere.
I have secondhand embarrassment actually watching the video, especially towards the end. It was a little bit embarrassing for me. Like, I don't know if you've ever been sitting somewhere and someone does something and you're embarrassed for them. That's the feeling that I feel tonight watching that, because I know for certain that some of their colleagues, or I know for certain of a colleague that has requested the parliamentary registrar to do a voters registration drive. In fact,
did they agree to it, or did they turn them down? The parliamentary registrar department.
The parliamentary registrar has accepted the invitation.
Anybody can make the request
to do a registration drive. I think we forget oftentimes as well that political organizations are civic organizations. I think we forget in all of this excitement the way that we're supposed to be educating our people, firstly, on their right to vote. Secondly, who they vote for. But firstly, that right that they have. I think that's what the focus should be on. Getting everyone, as much Bahamians as possible, to the polls, to register, to have a say and a voice in this country where we see so much people fed up with all of these political parties just disenfranchised. They don't care to even be involved. This type of behavior, this type of attitude, just the ending of it, what type of action? I mean, the way I would have countered it was, I would have called up the parliamentary registrar and I would have requested as a civic leader, because that's what you are, a civic leader, to host it, whether you host it at a school or wherever in the community, at a community park. You could go on a park in Fort Charlotte and say, listen, I want to bring this to the community. I was just in a local eatery near the University of the Bahamas talking to some students, and they said they were not registered to vote. And I said, has the registrar come to the University of Bahamas? I said I would look into that because I believe that is a place where you should be coming. Students are in class most of the time. They can't find the time. Most of them are catching rides, especially if you're new to college, they're not driving. Make it easy for your people to be involved in this process. I'm a little bit disheartened by Travis tonight, and this has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with the civic attitude of it.
Gentlemen, before you speak, Ellington, I just want to say, while I was not here, because I was on Monday evening, and all Monday I was preparing, we had a live paid political broadcast, so that was my focus. But I was told by the newsroom staff that listen, some people came in shirts and whatever, and guess what shirts they came in? Whatever party colors. There are many dressed in their own clothing, but others, meaning representing Bahamians, how Bahamians feel. So it wasn't just one particular party showing up to vote. People are showing up, to register to vote. People were just happy that it was available, as it everywhere else, whether it's the mall, the post office, another church, business. People just showed up here, regardless of where they were and where they stand on the political divide. They just showed up, I understand, on Monday to register to be able to vote later in the year.
If you were smart, you would have get a bus of people and bring them here. Because that's what I would have do. I would have put them in red shirts. I would have bussed them here, and we would have had a ride to ILTV studios. And that's the type of political statement you make. That's when you show you are serious about civic growth and involvement and activity. If you felt like someone was encroaching on your territory, that's how you show up. You get a bus of people in red shirts that need to vote, and I would bring them right to the ILTV studios.
Line them up.
I mean, that's the statement I would have made, but it's me.
Shanique, I think there need to be a more cohesiveness within these political parties. I've seen a lot of it. A lot of our young people get involved. A lot of newcomers get involved. And they seems to be out there all by themselves. Okay, they don't know of the past, the norms that we normally do. They don't understand these process. They're perceiving some things as they go. And I see this with this particular candidate. This is something that has happened over the years, where the parliamentary registration have went to businesses and have conducted registration. And so this is absolutely nothing new, like you and Gabby alluded to. They went to schools, they went all different type of places. And I think it's just sad that he took that approach without probably speaking to some senior members in the Free National Movement who would have known to tell him better. Gabby alluded that she know of some other of his colleagues that have a drive going on later. You can do it at on Mackey Street by the FNM headquarters. They can call the parliamentary registration, have their people come there and set up. You can do it at Gambay House. So this is just a demonstration of the level of probably frustration that the young candidate is experiencing, which I could understand. And I hope that he get past and don't follow through with his threat.
If you all would allow me, I want to read in part a statement by our CEO, Gershon Major. In response, he said Verizon Media Group Limited and its associated brands, particularly Eyewitness News, were pleased to host the Parliamentary Registration Department on Wednesday, February 18th. Here I am thinking it's Monday, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., providing eligible Bahamians with an opportunity to register to vote. We sincerely appreciate the department's acceptance of our invitation. I told you this was from weeks ago. Absolutely. During a training session. And commend the professionals from the Parliamentary Registration Department for their excellence, integrity, and efficiency in conducting the registration process. Accordingly, Verizon Media Group Limited categorically rejects any suggestion that the voter registration drive recently held at our facility at ILTV Studios was connected to, influenced by, or conducted on behalf of any political campaign or candidate. The voter registration exercise was conducted as an independent, non-partisan initiative with strict adherence to the guidelines. And they have guidelines as well, the Parliamentary Registrar Department, by the way. Procedures and authorization established by the Parliamentary Registration Department. Its sole purpose was to encourage eligible Bahamians to exercise their democratic right to register. The initiative was open to company staff and the wider public. It was carried live on our radio platform, 103.5, The Beats Unfiltered program, from start to finish. Listeners and members of the public were encouraged to register and were advised of the documentation required to complete the process. Now, Verizon Media Group, and I'll wrap up right here, operates as a licensed professional media and broadcast facility regulated by the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, while independent entities lease space within the ILTV Studios building. Any political campaign referenced operates from a separate and clearly distinct section of the premises and had absolutely no involvement in the voter registration drive. Again, that is from ILTV and Verizon Media CEO Gershon Major.
For that, no apologies needed.
Listen, there you have it, you all. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana. Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those folks, but they got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these two models, they ain't got to change. Superwash, they wash you, cleans you, process you 24/7.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
Every great idea starts with courage. Every successful business starts with belief.
And every woman deserves the opportunity to turn her vision into reality. The Fox Foundation Women Entrepreneurship Initiative is back, bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever. This year, Give to Gain honors women who gave their very best, their time, their talent, their sacrifice, and their vision to succeed in innovation-driven and emerging industries.
This initiative is about investing in women who are ready to lead, build, and grow. It's about creating a real pathway to success in a new era of business.
This year's program features 2 dynamic panel discussions designed to inspire action at every level. This year also features a distinguished international speaker, bringing global insight, helping to empower women to think bigger and lead boldly.
We're proud to grant over $75,000 in funding to emerging businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs ready to take the next step. If you have an idea, a business, or a dream worth building, now is the time.
Grant applications are open until February 28th. This is more than just an event. It is a powerful networking experience.
Surround yourself with women who mean business.
Join us as we give to gain.
Give your best, build what's next, and gain what matters.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Bronson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Well, certainly another trending topic all week, right up to tonight. This morning I went to the store and a lady said, "Man, you hear many of these Bahamian men have second wives, like in Cuba or Dominican Republic?" That's right, you all know what I'm talking about. That sweethearting study conducted by the University of the Bahamas. Well, there's no secret, right? It's like, Jesus, what you all talking about the unofficial industry in the Bahamas for? So listen, sweethearting in the Bahamas is sparking widespread public discussion following a recent published results of a survey conducted by the University of the Bahamas. Rebecca Bain fills us in, and then when we come back, I want to hear what Gabrielle and Ellington have to say. Take a listen.
Women may be more likely than men to engage in sweethearting, according to new research that is shedding light on one of the Bahamas' most sensitive and least discussed social realities. The findings, published in a special edition of the International Journal of Bahamian Studies, are sparking new conversation about infidelity, relationships, and the complex social factors driving them, in a culture where the practice is widely known but rarely addressed openly.
But if you look right across the Caribbean, that is the trend where men historically have been characterized by greater social flexibility, as we want to term it, and permissiveness, right? So a man can have several partners, but once a woman does it, it takes on a certain connotation.
Researchers surveyed more than 6,000 individuals to better understand the practice. Researcher William Fielding found that 80% of respondents reported having one sexual partner, while 20% admitted to having 2 or more partners within the last 6 months.
So we've got about 20% of the people having multiple partners, and then within this group, about 3/4 of them considered at least one of these partners as being a sweetheart.
Fielding noted that while sweethearting is often viewed negatively, some participants also identify perceived emotional, financial, or social benefits associated with maintaining multiple relationships.
So this is the clearly big piece, that they're looking for emotional support from their sweetheart. Then we get into the idea of some sort of transaction, if you like. I get gifts, but not money, as the second one. And then the sweetheart is a better lover than my usual partner.
Researchers say many individuals engaging in sweethearting are seeking more than romance.
So a lot of single respondents who are in these intimate relationships, they actually want to marry their sweetheart. Some want to have a baby with their sweetheart. So do we see the birth of a nuclear family, or do we see the birth of something else?
Another study found that 48.7% of married respondents reported that their unfaithful spouse had children with another partner. Despite this, 58.7% of women said they remained in loving relationships, and 53.4% said they would not leave their partner even if they are given the opportunity. Researcher Naeem Dean says these findings point to deeper social and cultural dynamics influencing relationship decisions.
These statistics suggest that Bahamians do
not have a problem with sweethearting. They suggest, as does this paper, that the value of the relationship is not in strict adherence to monogamy, but rather on one's capacity to be responsible and to cheat in a respectable way.
Researchers are encouraging the public to review the full studies available through the International Journal of Bahamian Studies on the University of the Bahamas website. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Listen, for Ellington should be back live. Shh, let me tell you. So didn't I tell you all? This is the one topic that eclipsed politics for like just a few days this week and right into tonight, right now, and that's why we're talking about it. So listen, another part of that study said wives are twice as likely to call their sweethearts their main partners, meaning they have that such a great emotional, sexual, financial, everything attractive and attraction with these men who are not their husbands, that they now see them as the main person. Gabrielle and Ellington, your thoughts on this study? First of all, it's like, man, that's a favorite pastime in the Bahamas, but that's what it is, a sport. These men are gold medalists when it comes to that, and women are apparently.
These men are gold medalists,
and women
apparently. Yeah, the men been doing this, Ellington. Y'all been doing it. Women just catching up. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Women just catching up.
Your thoughts on how University of Bahamas decided to go in there and the unspoken thing, like everybody kind of know, but you kind of turn your head to. They decided to bring this on Front Street.
Well, Shanique, this has been an age-old situation here in the Bahamas. I mean, I've heard stories from not only parents, from grandparents, that this has been going on from the days of the contract. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about locally Cuban stuff, but those things just start happening. The contract when our grandparents went on the contract and stuff, so they had families there. Mm-hmm. Some of them came back home. When they came back home, they say, well, why the boy from Cross Road running in the house? No, but that's my child. He met little babies in the house and all that kind of stuff. So, sweetheart has been something that has crept in the Bahamas. It's a main pastime here in the Bahamas that people engage in, both male, and I hear y'all normally, and I can say y'all, normally say, why do men sweetheart and woman equally as part? Man no sweetheart another man, he don't sweetheart no ghost, he sweetheart another woman. And in most cases, the woman know that this man has a wife and family. There are some cases where the guy lied because he knew this woman some woman probably wouldn't do it, and so he lied just to get in there. But generally, women as much as men, all of us are involved in sweetheart. It's a
all of us.
Speak
for yourself, Ellington. Speak for yourself,
Ellington. Us as Bahamian.
Hold on, Ellington.
Us as Bahamian. When I say us, I speak as Bahamian.
Speak the truth and let it be known.
It's a national pastime.
Gabrielle, your thoughts in the fact that women are saying, listen, hold up, man. It ain't like you satisfy me to a great extent anyways. So here's what I'm doing. Women are included in this study as well. And women are becoming just as involved and now focused on another partner who is not their husband.
I think with the feminine movement being more prevalent in society today, you see women now being more vocal about these things, being more forthcoming, being more authoritative. They're tired of being a backseat to these men while they go out and believe that they could just scheme on them or do whatever it is they want to do. And then they just have to take it, raise your child. But they say what a man will do, what a woman
can do better. No, what a man can do, a woman can do better.
No, listen. But what a woman could take will lay a man 6 feet under the dirt. Because they can't take it the second you hear, even with the survey, when you heard it, and I looked at the commentary from the men in there, I mean, they barely was already breaking down. Like how have y'all been doing this sport? Now the women get involved. Y'all want to be crying? Don't cry now.
See, Gabrielle, they didn't know that we could have become gold medalists in this sport, in this national sport of the Bahamas, the unspoken sport.
And you're right when you say gold medalists, because women are some of the leaders. Women today are making the initial approach in many of these sweetheart relationships.
Married women as well?
Married women and single women. And why do you think women hang out at many clubs?
But taking it a step further, though, Ellington and Shanique, a lot of Bahamian, I wouldn't say most, a lot of Bahamian couples are now becoming polygamous. in that it's being accepted now more in our society when there is a third member being added to marriages and added to relationships. So it ain't even no big secret. A lot of times people know, especially if it is seen that the man can afford a second woman. Because if you can't afford no second woman, don't come around no bohemian talking no foolishness.
If you can't afford the
If you
first
can't afford the first one, don't come around no bohemian talking no foolishness. But you want a girlfriend. How you want a girlfriend and you can't afford the first one? That make any sense? That make no sense. But where you find that a financial situation is stable, many women have become accepting to it in long-term marriages. I know of an older couple that he has been married for a lot of years, and the sweetheart came some 20 years later into the marriage, and I mean they know of each other and they live happily ever after.
Shanique, there's a different dynamic to this. And when you talk about the ratio of our population, the ratio of men to women, and sometimes I really feel for a lot of our women sometimes, because the number of women almost double to the number of men that we have in our country. So and when you look at the number of our young men that are on the streets, undesirable, those who end up behind bars and dead and all of that type of stuff, and those who decide to give the woman competition. And so it leaves a struggle for women to find a real man.
So you're saying that this is why the men really are doing us a great favor and servicing those unserved women. You're trying to say this is why this sweetheart ain't going nowhere.
It's not going to go nowhere. There are many women that would take a chance. Well, I can't have this and just settle. A lot of women just settle because here's a nice man. Why can't I find somebody like him? And she's been searching, and here's this married man who's probably either offering himself to her or she's attracted to him and going after him. And this is how things go. It happens at work, end up in the workplace or some business dealings, or just by them knowing each other, going to some nightclubs.
Funny? You know what's so funny? We're in the Lent, that season of Lent. And a lot of these things are happening within these Christian marriages and Christian relationships.
Absolutely.
And I listened to an interview from a church leader earlier this week when he spoke about counseling these people. And I'm like, is adultery not one of the commandments? So it's okay now, and I'm listening to how the messages is shifting and changing, and then y'all all in a frenzy trying to come at me about L-E-N-T.
Not that
and y'all over here doing
okay,
all the sweet acting.
Not that
the
it's
church,
okay.
Listen, the pastors out there, the pastors out there doing the most. You understand?
And not that it's okay.
They want to lay hands and pray for everyone.
Okay,
lay hands.
It's okay. It's just that people give in to the lust of the flesh and the sinful nature and these things. We were naturally made to be attracted to each other.
Yeah, but also,
male and female.
Gabrielle mentioned Lent.
A lot of people
back to the church,
Lent,
Ellington. Back to the church, though. There ought to be some discipline and distinction between someone who is wearing a collar and versus the person out there who can't keep his zip up. You know, but the point is, it's all of them out there. So
but
when you talk about sweethearting, there are married Christian wives and their pastor husbands who all dabbling and doing all this stuff as well. And so Bahamas, what are we gonna do? Yeah, but it certainly served as a nice distraction this week, didn't it? This whole thing that we all know about, but enjoy talking about openly in this way after this study by the University of the Bahamas. Gabrielle McKinsey-Ineas, Ellington, ever tempted Gabrielle? You see, I hyphenated your marriage, so let them know she married.
Gabrielle Ineas.
Happily married.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Ellington Ferguson, thank you as well. Listen, we just love to bring in anything that's trending, anything that gets a smile on your face. I keep that secret. I keep that very secret. Yes, absolutely.
Stay out to the business.
That part. When we come back, we're going to shift gears and speak and talk about insurance, women in insurance in particular, with the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them.
Hedges, you know, you do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
What are we walking back? That Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying
because
to
he also.
say. Carla, I don't even know what breadbasket is anymore either. What do y'all people say?
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make this your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all continuing to tune in this evening. This month is Insurance Awareness Month, and so the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas is bringing insurance to you, making what is a widely known industry, yet many people know so little about. It can be quite confusing. And so the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas is hosting a Women in Insurance Leadership Seminar, and hoping to be able to just make it a bit more friendly, the topic of insurance. Joining me this evening is Denisha Clark, a Senior Communications Analyst and Consumer Awareness Officer at the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, as well as Daniela Roberts, also an analyst at the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas and Consumer Awareness Department as well. Ladies, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique.
Listen, talking to insurance agents or even you all at the Insurance Commission, the regulatory body, I know you all will be like, well, it's very simple and you don't know this and you don't know that. But do you find it surprising that while we all have to have some form of insurance, and we do, we still are very confused about it, get miffed about it, have a disdain somewhat for and about insurance?
So yes, as the regulator and even being a part of the department and unit we're in, we are the communications and consumer awareness team. So we are the team that help educate the public on what insurance is about, how to read policies. We also do education and protection for policyholders. So understanding what insurance is literally our job. These
Correct.
two people sitting there today, so that's our job to do. And what we're doing now is hosting a Women in Insurance conference. Now, this conference is about highlighting women in power and also empowering women who want to be at the leadership tables. As many people know, the insurance industry was dominated by men. So now we're having directors, VPs, underwriters, actuaries, all women sitting in these seats now. So this conference is to bring those people in the room, have them talk about their stories, have them inspire others, empower others to become leaders within this industry. And not just this industry, Shanique. We want other persons, financial services, anywhere you want to work, hearing the stories of women becoming leaders in their prospective jobs, So this is something that we want to gather women throughout the Bahamas to come and enjoy such a day of education, empowerment, impactfulness. So we're going to be hosting it at Bahamar Convention Center from 8 to 5 at the Andres.
It's a full day.
Yes.
Full day.
So Danielle can give you some good background on what we're going to be doing that day.
So we're going to be doing a lot of things, right? We have about four panels speaking. In inclusion of that, we also have about 2 keynote speakers. So one is our headliner, of course. You may know Miss Erin Brown. She is the Disabilities Association, as well as we will have Miss Kenika Delaveau, as everybody know her, Kenny, right? And these are women that we want in the room because these are women of interest. These are women local to the Bahamas. They have the story that is so interesting, so phenomenal that it'll influence and affluence those in the room. And so that is our main goal, is to make sure that when we come out, it's like, yeah, these ladies and this team really thought of how I can be influenced to become this person. You know, a lot of times as women, we feel like a lot of things that we go through are isolated events that only you go through. But in actuality, a number of women do go through it, and they can help you navigate how to get through it.
The theme for the event is Breaking Barriers, Reload, Advancement to Influence. A heavy, quite a meaty theme, right?
Yeah.
But what does that mean exactly?
So last year, when we had our first one, the theme was Breaking Barriers, and our superintendent of insurance, Dina Munnings-Gray, she said we need to bring this back because we now want to show how these persons can now influence the next generation. So advancements to influence is definitely something where we are influencing those persons who are in the room. We understand that even persons like us, we have a boss who is a woman, and now we are being inspired and being given platforms where we can be speaking and be in the rooms with very important people. So this is what we're trying to create, the atmosphere we're trying to create at this event, and definitely we want to see a lot of persons come out, get to network with people, get to maybe find your mentor in the room. You know, some people would love to hear other people's story, and some people want to learn from other persons. So this is definitely the atmosphere for that.
Who should attend the seminar on the 27th?
Anyone. You don't have to be in insurance.
No.
I'm sure we are the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, so definitely we know it's going to be insurance filled. But if you're in financial services, if you're in banking, if you just entrepreneur, yes, anyone.
Because after all,
yes,
knowing and having a better grasp of the insurance and all its forms and all its presentations is necessary for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Especially women who sometimes want to stay away from something like that.
Yeah.
But even then, we have a segment that's going to talk about wellness, spiritual, like physical. So we're going to have a fitness instructor in there. We're going to have a leader who's a pastor in there, some health advocates in there. So also, we understand that women who are in leadership positions need to take care of themselves. It's something that is very important. We're going to have a fertility expert in the room as well. So we have curated the day to make sure understand different aspects of leadership and what it entails. So when you come out, you're going to be revitalized. You're going to hear a lot of information. So be open to what we're going to have during that day.
I like that because, I mean, when you think of insurance, you also think of wellness in any event. So it's important to have the whole woman addressed. Why the focus on wellness? And I love one of my coworkers said to me last week, you know, Shanique, this year I'm intentional about that work-life balance and what that is, because sometimes being overwhelmed can really take a toll on an individual, a woman in the workplace.
Correct. So as a woman, you know, we wear many hats. We're more than just the woman. We're the mother, the wife, the sister, the aunt. You know, we wear numerous hats. And for us, like our superintendent, one of our main things is in our workplace is work-life balance. Yes, you have a job to do. Yes, there are tasks to be completed. But please know when to cut that off. Know when that if you're not at 100%, stop and take care of you. Mm-hmm. So many times as women, we take care of everybody. Mm-hmm. I talking down to the garbage man, right? Mm-hmm. But we take care of so many people, but what about ourselves? And so this is a day that we really sat down, and when we thought of everything, Shanique, I can tell you we thought of everything, because we want women to, when they leave the environment, that their hair is let down, they exhale just for about a minute to two, you know what I mean? We want them to, when they get back into their workplace, back into their home life, back into their church life, or any other extracurriculars, that they say, you know what? I am a woman first, but also I am me first. And so I need to, and get back to it.
Yes, of course, this is next Friday, again, from 8 to 5, a full day. And you heard they thought of every single thing. And so you're not just going to go there and be hit hard with insurance and all that, I guess, all that information sort of right in your face. There are many other things that you're going to walk away with so that you feel more empowered to go and make decisions that best serve you. Now let's talk about group rates and that workplaces can bring their employees and be able to have a table or a few tables or something. So let's talk about that.
So we do have group rates. Now the ticket price is at $250. If you have 5 to 9 persons, you get 5% off. If you have 10 or more, 10% off. But understand, this is an investment. We want you to understand you're investing in your people. You know, some companies want to just get tables, so understand you're investing in your people. This is an area where they can come and network, get some mentorship, learn more. You understand you're curating. Growth and development is a part of the job as well. So understand, once you sign up for this and bring your team here, they're getting experience, they're investing in themselves, and they're also forming relationships with other leaders who are in the room.
You want to add anything to that, Danielle?
No, my colleague covered it all. That's correct. It's an investment for you. You have to see it for what it is. A lot of times, you know, we have no problem investing in our outer appearance. So this is an opportunity to invest in your inner self and give back to you. Back to my first point, we always give in to everybody else. You have no problem doing that. But what about you? Where do you grow? And, you know, it's an opportunity that we allow for others to be in the room, to say that, hey, I may not be this at this time, but I can be this. I can excel here. I can do this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Ladies, is there somewhere that groups, individuals, a business, maybe just a single business owner or somebody with several employees can reach out and get more information?
So definitely you can reach us on our social media pages. We have a LinkedIn and Facebook, Insurance Commission of the Bahamas. And also you can email us at events@icb.gov.bs. And you can call us at 603-4183. And they can transfer you to Danielle or Danisha. And we can start working out what you want to do. So definitely reach out to us. We're looking to see you guys in the room with us next week, Friday at Bahama Andres Ballroom. Trust me, we're going to have some breakfast, lunch, activities, some gift bags. You know, it's going to be a full day of stuff. Yeah, even a massage therapist is going to be there.
Listen, that alone is worth it.
That'll get you there, right?
That alone is worth it. I thank you all so much, Danielle and Danisha. Thank you so much for being here from the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, ladies. Good hearing about it. Again, insurance is something we all know, but we know so little about. And this is your opportunity also to know and rediscover why it's important to pour into yourself and be empowered that way. Again, the Women in Insurance 2026 Leadership Conference, Breaking Barriers, Reload, Advancement to Influence. That happens once again next Friday at Bahamar Convention Center from 8 in the morning until 5. A full day of activities, information, and so much more. You heard even massages. They thought of it all available for you. And so, ladies, I thank you once again. Get those numbers, the information that they shared to reach out and book your table, for your group or yourself. I thank you all so much for being here this evening. You're welcome. And thank you all so much for tuning in. It's certainly been awesome having you along this evening. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.